Ech. Halo? Dzień dobry. Witam serdecznie. Ale masakra. Zobaczymy, co się wydarzy. Zaraz się pojawimy. Nasz przynajmniej mój rej się pojawi. Halo, pajajajo. My możemy się przełączyć na to. Co nam szkodzi? Witamy serdecznie. Znaczy, no to chwila, to w trakcie produkcji. Tu się wszystko robi. O Jezu, to się psuje dźwięk. Jak z jakiegoś VHS-a. Przechwytywanie okna jest. Poprosimy. Oczywiście. Co z tym dźwiękiem? Porąbało dźwięk.
Hello there guys, my name is Opal Cadman and welcome. Today I have three main tasks. The first one is to introduce you to Koch Media's brand new premium gaming label. Number two is to take a deep dive into some of the games coming to that label. And finally, number three is to show you what the new label will be getting up to in the streaming world.
Nie można tak
welcome
mówić.
streamers who are co-streaming this today. Hello. Some of you guys are guys who I have looked up to and watched for many years. And speaking of people who I've looked up to for many years,
Oczywiście my się tu pojawimy na tym streamie, tak?
Jeff Keighley, who will be helping me co-host us through this entire list of games.
To już nie lepiej było zapłacić Jeffowi,
Thanks, Opal. It is so great to be here with you for the first ever live stream from Prime Matter. I was honored yesterday to reveal the label to the world at the Summer Game Fest kickoff event. And wow, you've got a lot of games there in that sizzle, over a dozen games. So I know today we're going to go a little bit more in depth to talk about all these games, to talk to a lot of the developers. But for those of you that might have missed it yesterday, I just want to see it again. Let's kick things off with a look at that announcement sizzle reel for Prime Matter.
Prime Matter kogo obchodzi, nie? Uwaga, nie wiem czy kogoś to chodzi, ale mój rej się pojawi.
What it all means. Let's begin.
Jeff jest teraz wszędzie. Jeff to przejmuje E3. On chyba, to jest jego było podejście od początku. Więc on chce kompletnie E3 splajtować. Magia. Dubstepy lubicie? Payday'e? Payday VR, trzeba to będzie sprawdzić.
Is that who you are?
My purpose makes me who I am.
Ale to już oglądaliśmy wczoraj.
I finally have the feeling we're doing something
Nie
worthwhile.
wiem co to za gra jest z tym typem, będąc szczerym. Na tej konfie ma być wszystko co ma Koch Media, czyli Payday 3, na pewno nie będzie Saints Row, nie będzie Dead Island z trójki, na pewno, bo oni tam informowali, że nie będzie na tej konferencji tych trzech wielkich marek, które ma Koch Media, nie? Czyli za dużo to nie jest. Pewnie coś powiedzą o Biomutancie, znając życie. Lubicie takie trailery?
Yes, guys, you just saw 12 games and counting. And that's just the start for Prime Matter. But before we get into these incredible games, what I like to call the juicy bits, I want to talk to you about what Prime Matter is and who we are. Prime Matter is the
Od razu nie
new
lepiej?
premium gaming label of Koch Media. It dedicates itself to delivering a range of immersive and diverse games from amazing development talent all around the globe.
Oficjalne
It
ogłoszenie
highlights
Koch
the
Media.
varied influences of global studios and their different approaches to
Payday
game making.
3,
The new label will lead
Crossfire
with
Legion, to
creativity and
widziałem
expression,
coś.
with games that enthrall players,
Nowa gra serii
with
Painkiller.
larger-than-life
Sprzedali
storytelling,
polską
creating
markę.
incredible moments, and above all, they're fun. The
Skarawow.
team behind Prime Matter is a melting pot of
Wiecie, nie?
incredible talent.
Tylko to bez sensu jest kompletnie. Czemu podawać od razu wszystko, co się pojawi na konferencji? Przecież to jest tak strzelenie sobie w stopę, gdyż no... Painkiller.
Working with such a wide range of passionate developers producing games together
Trzeba.
by gamers for gamers.
By gamers.
And
For
that being
gamers,
said,
oczywiście.
all you keen-eyed individuals out there, you would have seen that one game was actually missing in our 12-game lineup for Prime Matter during the video. That is a game that comes from the Embracer family itself. Jeff got to sit down with Todd Hollinshead and talk all about Painkiller.
Polska
All right,
marka.
you saw the news yesterday. Yes, there is a new Painkiller coming, and Todd is joining me now to maybe give us a few more details. I know this is kind of a fresh project for the team at Saber.
Zabawne,
You
nie?
guys, first of all, I
Komedia.
love that you and Tim Willits are there.
Uwielbiamy
doing
wasze
to build
gry.
out Saber.
Bez
And
waszych
Painkiller,
jeczy się
it's a franchise
pusty.
You and I are both OG. We remember it was it probably 15 years ago at this point?
Ale to są puste gadki. E3 miało przewagę nad wszystkimi konferencjami tym, że to były konkrety. Pach, pach, trailer, gameplay, trailer, gameplay. Nie było żadnych gadania. O, jak fajnie jest grać w naszą grę, ale mamy super grę, ale my jej nie pokażemy. Oczywiście, żeby nie było wpadek typu Cyberpunk, że robi się specjalne demo na E3 i później okazuje się, że w ogóle to był specjalnie build przygotowany na ten event i on nie ma nic wspólnego z tym, jak będzie gra wyglądała w przyszłości, więc jest kompletnie bez sensu.
Shooters from all your time at id and Painkiller, does have a lot of that DNA of fast-paced action with a little bit of a twist to it. And the fact you guys are working with Prime Matter is also exciting. Brand new publisher, brand new label. What do you think of the fact that they're doing this label and it's such a diverse
Czekajcie coś od Koch Media? Nie wydaje mi się. Znaczy ja jedyne co bym chciał zobaczyć nowy Saints Row. To jest priorytet dla mnie. Kingdom Come, jakiś dodatek, Payday, w końcu jakiś nowy, bo oni wrzucają te dodatki już przez tyle lat, że to jest poezja, że oni się zdziwię, czemu w ogóle to jeszcze żyje. To gadanie jest tak bez sensu. Pokaż mi grę, nie mów mi o niej, jak ona będzie świetna, bo wiadomo, że ona będzie świetna w 100%, nie?
sort of start with pixel zero, and then at the end of the day, you make a game. So I feel like that, that kind of resonates with hopefully the type of experiences that we're going to be providing, not just within Prime Matter and working with them between Saber and our partnership, but, across the Embracer group as well.
Yeah, no, it sounds like they have a lot of games in development, but the fact that you are bringing back Painkiller is really exciting. And I know, fans, of course, want to know a little bit about, what's the game going to look, how's it going to play. Probably can't share a lot of details about it, but you're kind of in the early stages of development now.
To jest bez sensu.
Yeah,
To jest po prostu
super
Summer
early,
Game
and,
Fest.
anything that I would
Bez
share, I'd
niczego.
probably get assassinated for back home once
Pokazaliśmy trailer z wczoraj.
all these,
Pokazaliśmy,
pokazaliśmy
jak facet fajnie gada o grze, która jeszcze nie istnieje, bo na bank. Bo jeżeli oni nie pokazują nawet trailera, nawet teasera, ta gra nie istnieje w tym momencie. Tam jest build na podstawie, zebraliśmy się z kumplami, poszliśmy, zebraliśmy się w klubie, wypiliśmy 2 piwa i stwierdziliśmy, mamy tą licencję Painkillera, może weź z niego skorzystajmy. O, i mówią, w sumie to nie głupie. Proszę mnie nie psuć.
Todd and Tim and the team at Saber are working on it. I think we're going to get something pretty special when they are ready to share more. So, exciting stuff in that sizzle reel, Painkiller, Payday, but
to było na żywo Summerfest?
A lot more we're here to talk about today as well, right, Opal?
Chyba tak.
Prime Matter has 12 games under development right at this minute. We're so excited.
A pokażesz jakieś, nie?
What us and the developers have been up to. However, before you see some of the content that we show you today, I do have to make it clear that some of this is pre-alpha, alpha, high-level concept, and some of it is about to release.
Czyli nie istnieją te gry ani trochę, więc bierzcie to pod uwagę, że te gry będą wyglądać 400 razy inaczej. I pewnie ten silnik będzie coraz gorszy, więc dajcie mi tam sobie spokój. Oglądajcie nas, te gry istnieją naprawdę.
And what happens when it all goes wrong. I got to speak with the developers of the Chant work in progress title about their game and who they are.
Our game is about a group of people.
O nie, znowu gadanie o jak fajna jest nasza gra.
They basically get a little more than they bargained for. And
Po co? To jest komuś potrzebne.
Her own personal issues as well as the cosmic terrors that become awakened.
Cool. So
Ale świetnie. Nie pokażemy wam gry, po co to komu. Tak, kontynuujemy wczorajszą rozkminę na temat wesel. To jest opowiadanie bajek tylko po to, żeby goście zdążyli się zjechać i nikt nie poczuł się pominięty. To jest główny cel tego, moim zdaniem. To jest pogadanie tylko po to, bo nie mamy nic, ale obiecaliśmy wydawcy, że coś powiemy. Nie chcemy robić przypału, więc powiemy coś o tej grze. Robimy kolejny horror, który nikogo nie będzie straszył, ewentualnie youtuberów, którzy zostaną zapłaceni i żeby nie było smutno i przerażą się 2 razy na niby.
Normally what you would see, this whole spiritual awakening thing. So what was the idea behind that?
We thought it was just kind of a
Dobra, wróćmy do normalnego rozmiaru.
Territory to explore. There is there's a lot of influence from that with like folk horror of the 70s and giallo horror and so forth that really inspired us more from a film standpoint. And taking that kind of aesthetic, something that was very sensational, very colorful, and mixing it in with kind of more action-oriented and exploratory game mechanics, we felt was a fresh take on the horror space.
So, kind of speaking about your inspirations and stuff.
Kurde, psujesz mi całą koncepcję.
Real life media has inspired you to create this title?
To powinno być wasze logo.
When Resident Evil 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. Alone in the Dark, Eternal Darkness.
Kurde, jakie były gry horrorowe. Resident Evil, Alone in the Dark.
Game with fixed camera angles and so forth, and then we over the course of development. Just especially really focusing on bringing more of an action element to it. We've since switched to an over-the-shoulder camera and haven't looked back.
So kind
Kurde,
of
alergia
talking
nie
about
pomaga.
changes and what you guys are doing on the development side, how close is the game to like the original concept? I understand you guys are still developing. The game's quite far out, but from your original concept to where the game is now, how much has that differed?
The core story and I'd say the aesthetic and the themes, those all remain intact. I'd say our
Dobrze się bawicie? Fajna konferencja, nie?
Our team size grew. We added deeper mechanics. I'd say more action to the game. Our game actually has a fair amount of combat in it, especially on the melee side. Those were things that weren't too prevalent in our original concept, and a lot of those things are just kind of based on, we're a very small team at first. We're still a relatively small team, but
zebraliśmy kumpli z Maca, zaprosiliśmy ich do naszego biura w Macu, kupiliśmy po cheeseburgerze i powiedzieliśmy, hej, robimy grę. Jesteś zobligowany, bo wisisz mi za Big Maca.
Sticking on that point of, you got a small team, there's a lot of challenges that comes with that. What was the hardest part of making the game so far?
Zmuszenie wydawcy, żeby dał nam pieniądze. To było najtrudniejsze. Musieliśmy go przekonać, że tak, faktycznie chcemy zrobić grę. Do tej pory zastanawiamy się, jak ona ma wyglądać. Nie mamy jeszcze grafika, więc nawet nie mamy loga dla tej gry, ani nie mamy okładki, więc jest ciężko. Mamy Dave'a, który był woźnym w CD Projekcie, więc trochę tam podłapał kodowania.
In addition to that, we've been using photogrammetry from the start. For both our environments. All of our characters are also scanned actors, and we're using, also tapping into a lot of what's going on in our city. Vancouver has a pretty big film industry, so really tapping into the film and the effects industry and tapping into that area of expertise.
Serio? Czy to będzie polegało na tym, że będziemy rozmawiać cały czas na ten temat? Jak fajnie jest nasza gra?
In the past and also kind of how rich Vancouver is. How much does that come in handy when you're working on the game?
Oh, it's been extremely beneficial. Vancouver, is home to a lot of AAA studios. A large portion of us work together at Rockstar and United Front Games, and we also have people who have worked at the Coalition and EA. As well as some
studios as well. Mamy Dave'a z CD Projektu, sprzątał kible podczas crunchy.
Utilize, local talent. We're working with union actors. We're scanning actors as well that we're using for our characters, and we're actually currently auditioning a couple remaining characters for the game, and as well as doing the finishing touches on our new motion capture studio. So we're going to be doing a full
motion capture studio w tym momencie.
Cinematics push over the coming months. That's a really exciting.
To co oni mają? Jak teraz praktycznie każda animacja polega na motion capture, to co oni mają? UI zrobione? Mają, nie wiem, zatrudnili motion designera, żeby zrobił 4 animacje przejścia?
The thing I'm most proud of is just what a small focused team can do when they're all, sharing the same goal and vision. As I said earlier, we come from different backgrounds, but everyone's managed to come together and really deliver an amazing amount of work for the team size we have, and it's really exciting to be working on a smaller team again, and just having that kind of energy where you're working with everyone on the team day to day.
Yeah, I imagine that is a lot different to probably what some of you are used to coming from those massive studios.
To bez sensu. To kiedyś się podłączyłoby pod EA albo pod Microsoft, albo pod Sony, albo PC Gaming Show.
It's truly an exciting place to be. We've been kind of pushing our game as far as we could, and this partnership is really helping to provide more reach and more resources, but I think most importantly also just having a partnership on getting feedback and helping to really expand and push the vision of the game.
Czy on może już skończyć gadać? Czy to jest Boże Święty? Zobaczmy na czat. Co się dzieje? 7000 ogląda tylko.
Well, Mike, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome to talk to you
and
find out a little
przyszliście
bit
dla
more
gier
about
wideo,
what you guys are gonna be
oszaleliście.
offering for the new label. And I can't wait to let gamers finally get their hands on the content. So thank you for your time.
From psychedelic horrors to internet rumors, our next developer created the huge open world of Bohemia.
Możemy coś
and took us on
zobaczyć
an
dzisiaj?
adventure through the Holy Roman Empire.
Fajnie by byłoby
However,
coś
there have been
zobaczyć.
some leaks that this action RPG may have a home on the Switch. Opal sat down with Warhorse Studios to try and get to the bottom of this.
Kingdom Come Deliverance on the Switch. That is quite some news.
To nie jest
that's
news.
True. Kingdom Come Deliverance is coming to the Nintendo Switch.
No to
And as you
porty
said,
będziemy
it's
teraz
about gamers,
reklamować?
devs and games. In our case, or in this case, actually gamers
Mamy
play an
świetny
integral part in
announcement.
the story.
Robimy port
Well,
gry,
some kind of
która już jest
confusion
stawna
happened,
stara
in
jak
the end
poezja.
of last year. We Warhorse Studios were preparing the release of the Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition on PlayStation and Xbox, but someone most likely ticked the wrong box in Japan, and it looked like it's going to be released on Switch as well. Of course, by that time there was nothing existing like that. We were not even thinking about the possibility that Kingdom Come Deliverance could go on the Switch. However,
Tak, na
Nintendo,
pewno nie wiedzieli o tym, że to
had
pójdzie na Switcha. W ogóle deweloperzy nie wiedzieli o tym, co się dzieje z ich
all of a
IP.
sudden it was the talk of the day. Kingdom Come Deliverance is releasing on the Switch, but as I said, nothing like that was planned at all, and we didn't even think about that.
Aż muszę płakać.
A few months back, and we think it was still
Oglądacie gry wideo?
on the Nintendo database. Nintendo of Spain posted a picture.
Podobno to jest o grach wideo konferencja, ale no, mogę się mylić.
Of open world games, and they were promoting already existing open world games on the Nintendo Store. And if you clicked on the picture, actually you couldn't. There was nothing like Kingdom Come Deliverance, of course not.
Takie to jest lanie wody. To jest kiedy na maturze musisz napisać 250 słów.
Confusion. People were talking about it again, like, okay, so is it coming? Is it not coming? But for us, actually, and as I said, we didn't think about that until that time. For us, we started to think there's a lot of interest, there's a lot of buzz. People are actually talking about us, reaching out to us, like they seem to want Kingdom Come Deliverance on the Nintendo Switch. So we started to think, and since we are already in the Koch Media family or the Embracer family, and there's a lot of talented studios, so is
Koch Media próbuje kierować się na EA albo na Ubisoft, ale umówmy się, bez takich heavy hitterów jak Saints Row czy Dead Island. No, Dead Island jest heavy hitterem. Przy Dying Lightie nie wydaje mi się.
More or less, yes. The community feedback we got, of course, was a big drive for this entire project. But this comes from our general background. So think of the Kickstarter project we had in the day. So without the community, there wouldn't be any Warhorse Studios or any Kingdom Come Deliverance. So we always try to be very close to them
to by nas nie było.
And even coming up with crazy ideas together with them. So for instance, the Savior Schnapps.
W pewnym momencie tak, żeśmy sobie pożartowali, że stwierdziliśmy, ej, Kingdom Come na Switcha, ale jaja. I Japończycy oczywiście send it. Nagle, nagle trzeba wydać.
Kingdom Come Deliverance soap bar, which should
give
you the real medieval smell. In that case, I must say, medieval smells actually pretty well. And
On pokazał mydło, że zrobił.
stuff like that all the time. Our next new
Mydło?
merchandise product is or project
Mydło.
is a Farkle boxed board game kind of. So Farkle, for those who don't know, that's like this Kingdom Come Deliverance minigame,
Lubicie mydło?
you can play in the game.
Oglądajcie
And now with
mydło.
Studios, we are coming up with a
Fajne
boxed
mydło,
version
nie?
you can get and
Nie
play
spodziewajcie
Farkle
się, że na
at home
konferencji
against your friend,
na
against
podstawie
your friend,
gier
or
będzie
family or
mydło.
whatever. So,
Fajne
that's pretty
mydło.
cool if you ask me. But generally,
Co
if
jest
you're
w tym
interested in
okej?
these
Co jest w
kind
tym
of stuff,
fajnego?
just check the Warhol Studios social media
Jakby
accounts,
Bethesda
you get
stwierdziła,
all the
patrzcie,
information you need
chcieliście
there.
obejrzeć Elder Scrollsy nowe? Nie,
Soapy
zobaczcie na
hot
koszulki, jakie
news.
zrobiliśmy.
Speaking of soapy hot news, how do you feel about Warhorse being under the new label Prime Matter?
It's a huge honor, of course. We were working together
Zmieniliście
with Koch
tylko
for over 4
nazwę.
years already. In 2019,
Nikt
we
nie
then
kojarzył
became,
Koch Media, więc
became
zmieniliście
part of
coś,
the
co bardziej
entire
brzmi
Embracer family,
amerykańsko.
so that was a big thing, and now being able to take part.
Bawicie się
beginning of
dobrze,
something new,
Aksiu, jak
be
tam
there when there's a
kupujesz
new
mydło
label being
z Kingdom
created,
Come'u?
that is a big thing for us. And especially if you consider that we come there as an established partner already, that is really cool, and we are looking forward to a bright future.
Thank you very much, Toby. We cannot see what Warhorse has got cooking. However, until that time, Toby, goodbye!
So are we.
Gadanie,
Thank you very
gadanie,
much, and
konferencja,
see you.
gadanie.
From
Nie mamy
internet
nic.
rumors back to reality, we will have more on Kingdom Come Deliverance for Switch as we get it.
All right, let's move from RPGs to FPS games.
Jeff,
Final
zapłacili
Form, which
ci
is
za
a
to?
working
Ile?
title, is an action-packed sci-fi adventure where you play the role of a humanoid avatar of a
Już nawet
sentient
czytasz z
spaceship
kartki,
sent
nie,
on a
nie
mission to
starasz
the
się
edge
już
of the
nawet
known
tutaj. To już
universe,
zapłacone z
battle an
góry.
unstoppable plague. The game is still a long ways from completion, but here's a very quick peek at what's in store.
Tu był jakiś reżyser tego eventu? Widzieliście trailer? Te trailery są na początku. Reconnect. FPS-y. Jesteśmy kulką. Jak ten chomik z tego, z Overwatcha. Baba. Ile już jesteśmy po tym? 23 minuty i mamy pierwszy trailer dopiero. Cieszycie się? Warto było czekać? A, i to koniec. Dobra konferencja.
Hi, we are Raycon Games, and what you have just seen is the first
Polak.
glimpse of our upcoming game
Polska
Final
górą.
Form.
Final Form is an
Kolejny
action-packed,
Polak.
epic sci-fi FPS in which you are a female-formed humanoid machine on a space mission with no return.
At the heart of the game is a mystery and alien worlds to explore, but also an adrenaline-fueled combat. In Final Form, it's all about the freedom and power of movement, being a machine unrestrained by
Epic.
human weaknesses.
O Boże,
There
jakie
are
to
numerous
jest
abilities
epic.
and gadgets that come with your robotic body, so you can give yourself away to the fantasy of becoming an unstoppable cybernetic goddess,
Gościu
blazing
chyba
away in a spectacular battle of
jesteś
destruction.
zwycięzcą, ma tą gestykulację. Jesteś zwycięzcą. Wszystko jest dobrze. Ta gra
Raycon
jest
is
bardzo
located in
świetna.
Warsaw, Poland, with additional team members located all over the world. The studio was founded and is managed entirely by game developers. Since the success of Ruiner, we've grown quite substantially.
Oni już wypuścili
Raycon is
nową grę.
over 50 brilliant game creators. And counting. We are not a huge team, but what we love to do is to evolve together with our projects, constantly finding smarter and better ways to achieve something truly unique. We build our work environment just like we make games, aiming for the best results and personal fulfillment. We strongly believe that the well-being of team members needs to be taken care of first, before we can pour all of that love into a game. The partnership with Koch Media has been very fruitful and inspiring. We're happy to be in the avant-garde of the upcoming new label. We're looking forward to share more on Final Form in the future. And in the meantime, please enjoy the rest of the show and see you around.
To koniec? Mamy gry. Gra trwała 3 minuty.
I have to say, guys, I love the soundtrack from Final Form. Moving on to our next game, which is just as special. What if you took Lovecraftian and Gagaris themes and mixed it all together with hardcore RPG
Lovecraft.
elements? That's exactly what Massive Works Studios are doing.
Extinct City? Może nie zapłacicie twórcom? Będziecie
Dolmen.
wypuszczać gry bez ich wiedzy? Będziemy widzieć chyba te wszystkie gry z trailera, który był na początku. Po co było to gadanie na samym starcie? To nie jest tak, że one były na żywo, one były pre-renderowane, więc to... Znaczy pre-rekordowane. Mamy robale. Dark Soulsy w kosmosie. To już chyba Surge robiło to, nie? Ściszymy chyba trochę, nie? Tak mi się wydaje. Jest potwór. Dolmen. Kolejny prerenderowany filmik i nic nie miałem pojęcia, o co chodzi. O nie, znowu gadanie. Więcej gadania niż gier. Jednak, przepraszam, ale Summerfest to jest w ogóle...
So let me tell a little bit about what Dolmen is. Dolmen is that kind of a game that where the hero needs to save everyone from an alien threat. Fighting with all kinds of monsters and struggling to keep going forward. Yeah, that's the kind of game that Dolmen is not about. In this game, you actually save the drillers, which is the alien species that live on that planet, but you're going there to help a company save its investment. So you're not really the nice guy that's trying to save everyone. It's just a job. But we hope that the players consider the humanity, the greed, the war, and the spares and the challenges that come to mind along with that job.
Pokażmy jakieś gry.
And yes, Dolmen is also about fighting.
Nawet nie masz to... Nawet cię nie stać na ramkę do plakatu.
It is a hard game. It's a hardcore game. It's inspired on Souls-like, so yes, you're going to die a lot.
Awesome.
No wiadomo, że są
So,
słowy,
when
bo
thinking
trzymał
about the name
siekierę.
Dolmen, obviously you guys went for that for like a very specific reason. What's the thinking behind the name? Why did you go for Dolmen?
So there was many things that came to our mind when
Gościa nie stać na ramkę do plakatu, on chce o grach ogadać. Czemu daje kod QR? To pewnie wishlistowa jest, tak? Zaczynamy, bo to jest na Steamie.
This crystal that we have that is related to that. In many ways, everyone that deals with this crystal in the game is close to bringing problems to everyone that is around. And we wanted this to be the main piece of the game.
Cool. Awesome. And now I know that people may or may not have heard of Dolmen before, so it is already out there in the world. But how long has it taken to get to this point?
Oh, it's been a long journey since the beginning.
2 lata drukowaliśmy plakat. Musieliśmy chodzić po wszystkich kserach i nam powiedzieli, że nie będą nam drukować. Trzeba wydać pieniądze na drukowanie. Więc w końcu trafił się kumpel, który... Jego mama miała drukarkę w pracy i nam wydrukował.
And about our journey, if it wasn't the support that we had since the beginning,
Zobacz,
here our community, the Kickstarters, and you guys, I believe we would not be here right now.
Lovely. How have you been inspired by other games? You mentioned like the Souls-like obviously inspires it. You know, are there other games that inspire you, and also what games do the teams like?
First of all, regarding inspirations, a lot of games came to us when we were producing the game. And
Zaraz zobaczymy. O, to fajnie, fajnie, nie? Mówi jaka świetna jest gra.
Souls-like games, so Bloodborne, Dark Souls.
Hej, znacie te wszystkie fajne gry? To my chcemy zrobić taką samą, nie? Patrzcie na plakat. O, nie. Tu jest plakat. Chociaż nie, dobra, easy. Więc tak wygląda Dolmen. Więcej się dowiemy z tego strony na Steamie niż z jego gadania. Sci-fi połączony z średniowiecznym klimatem, bo mamy kompletnie mele. Eksploracja, survival, crafting. Nie ma nawet tej ceny, można tylko dodać do listy. To jest jak Surge, tylko że bardziej sci-fiowy. To jest bez sensu.
Yeah, that makes sense as well when you get hands on Dolmen, all these inspirations that have come in. So the game is set in a sci-fi universe. Is there any specific reason you decided to go down that route? Was there any other routes that you considered at first?
Yeah. Well, the humans are afraid of what they don't know. And the universe has infinite possibilities. There is always something unknown that we can explore in space. So that sci-fi setting really was something that we could use to throw everything that our insane minds could come with.
Boże, gościu, skończ właśnie pan z tytułowcem.
To present the player a world of unknown that he can fear and he can enjoy it.
No, absolutely. And while we're kind of on the point of humans and Earth, you guys are based in Brazil, which is awesome. Are there any specific challenges that you face during development because of that, or just in general?
Yeah, there were a lot of challenges that we faced.
Zobaczmy mądrość tłumów.
We obviously had to adapt our workflow in this late years.
Tłum zatwierdził.
2020 and 2021 was a really challenge for us. It was something that we could adapt well, especially because even that we're based in Brazil, we're not only based in a single location in Brazil. We have people spread across the country. So it was easy enough to overcome that challenge. But there were several challenges since getting development kits and finding people that are really capable of helping us to deliver.
Fajna, nie? Fajna konferencja, dużo się dowiadujemy.
We gathered, and that's something that
możemy posłuchać od deweloperów, jak jest fajnie tworzyć gry.
They were really incredible people, and they were really rare over here.
Absolutely, that's really cool. Kind of on that
fajnie,
theme
nie?
of development and challenges.
Fajne konferencje.
Given how development and technology often dictates how a game evolves.
Zapomniałem zmienić.
How kind of close are you to the original concept that you guys came up for Dolmen?
Well, there are different point of views on that answer, especially because we started really small. In the journey of the game, for example, it started as a concept from a few friends that get together and they brainstormed it for months, the game. So it diverged.
Czekaliście dużo na ten konwent.
And one of them, when we first thought of the game,
dzisiaj się nie pojawi nic od Saints Row.
It's huge and is insane and has a lot of background on it. It has all this universe around it. So a lot of it has been built. So people that loves lore and loves the universe that we are creating, they will have a lot to explore on that side. But the game and from its original concept evolved a lot, especially
Dużo się dzieje.
we have more tools at our disposal. So on the
Staramy się
tech
jak
side,
najbardziej.
It advanced way better than we imagined. Back 2016, we didn't have all the resources that we have
Nie
now.
mieliśmy nikogo.
So, of course, we made some sacrifices here and there, and in order to achieve our goal, but we're never
Mieliśmy tylko
happy,
pomysł.
with,
Wygraliśmy w kapsle biuro.
satisfied that point of satisfaction, you know. We want to
Były
reach
w nim
more.
komputery z Unreal Engine. I stwierdziliśmy,
This is also a game, and we are having fun.
co może być w tym
but
trudnego?
on top of all, we want to make a brilliant game for the player.
Absolutely. And speaking about like making the game and the development of the game, seeing as you are lead programmer
Bardzo
as well,
piękne
what was
zdjęcie.
the hardest part of making the actual game?
I believe that we could have gone
Bardzo ładne
to,
zdjęcie.
Different options. Especially,
Kurde.
for example, we could
Nie
have
pokazuję.
wanted to make it a game that was simpler or smaller or not have that many hours of gameplay. But we decided to go to a hardcore game.
Bardzo ważna informacja, nie?
First game of our company, so we decided to go
Koch Media.
to that challenge.
Ale, znaczy tak, Koch Media to jest prezentacja Koch Medii, ale nic nie ma zamiaru pokazania.
Focusing on what we were doing and, you know, keeping yourself focused for 5 years on a single game is something that is challenging for everyone, especially right now. So it was a difficult decision, but we wanted to make that. Regarding programming and as a programmer,
Fajnie się
there's a
bawimy,
lot
nie?
of that I could talk.
Kurde gościu!
What is the
Gdzieś się gadasz.
multiplayer is always challenging.
Bawimy się dobrze, nie?
But finding that
Co
balancing
chodzi?
fit, so the game that is not unfair, but is
Fajnie
is
się
hard.
bawicie, nie?
So we wanted to aim hard
Szampańsko.
for players, so
Rozmawiamy z deweloperami.
So you mentioned like 5 years of development, which is a crazy long time.
Oni jeszcze chcą gadać na ten temat.
Kept yourself motivated? How have the team kept
Oni
themselves
dalej to
motivated?
próbują ciągnąć.
I won't say that it was easy.
To jest takie
'cause it
rozciąganie
wasn't,
materiału.
but
To jest po
would say
prostu
that
nowy level.
Most of all, we were always having these meetings in order to play the game. Even now that we are remote, we keep getting up every day and making a meeting and showcasing what we are doing and working alongside each one of us. Also, a lot of things that happened before COVID was the events. The events always made us super happy. So showcasing the game to everyone and getting the players to play the game
Pan tak
and see how
potrafi,
they react, it was
zapłacono
something
panu?
incredible for us. It really made us feel proud of what we were doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like everyone's missing that event feeling, right? When you actually get to see people on the games and you're like, oh wow, everyone's loving our games. I think it's something that everyone is
Fajnie bym się
missing, definitely.
pospuszczał nad
Speaking
ich
of
grą,
kind of
gdybym zobaczył
motivation
jakąś.
and happy times, what are you most proud of this game? What have you guys worked on that you're like, yeah, we did that?
Zrobiliśmy kawałek trailera, to już coś. To jest nasz achievement życiowy. Nie cieszycie się z tego powodu?
We even made some comics for it that we prepared.
Fajnie, nie? Fajnie, że robimy taki fajny event, gdzie dużo rozmawiamy.
So we're really proud of the universe that we created and this game that we made.
Wiesz, że się bawimy.
What we did is what makes us feel proud. And now that we have partnered with you,
Kurde, oczy mnie swędzą.
getting to
Przez niego oczy mnie swędzą.
and getting to
On tak
get
potrafi.
closer to our original concept and what we meant for it, that is something that makes us really happy.
Cool. Awesome. Speaking of partnership with us, what are the benefits of signing up with a global publisher like Koch on their brand new
Pieniądze.
label?
To nas musi...
That's really,
To nas pozwoliło, że zapisaliśmy się do Koch Media. Pieniądze. Zapłacili z góry. Nie musieliśmy sprzedawać mieszkań, żeby...
We couldn't make it for ourselves. They have an amazing team of QA localization, so we can reach different countries and players everywhere. We have a great producer that worked with us, helping us.
Moje dlacy są w bundlu. Z ciekawych informacji. Idealna gra do bundla.
Without Koch opened the doors for us on that sense. And being part of this new label is a great opportunity for us, and also to know other game developers and expand the game community, and and to meet you as well. We really thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely, we are so happy to have you guys on board, and
zrobimy tak, odpalę playa, pogramy w gry. No to więcej będzie gier niż samego konferencji.
Release Dolmen at some point under the new label. Thank you for your time and see you later.
Thank you. See you.
Now, the first title from Prime Matter will be the beautiful, highly anticipated King's Bounty 2. We have a first look at the gameplay trailer.
Ktoś pamięta jeszcze tę grę? To ruski gra była, nie?
CEO Nikolai Baryshnikov.
Tak, to od ruskich. Wtedy jak jeszcze Heroesy były górowały. Ktoś jeszcze gra w Heroesy? Znaczy powstało, że dużo gra, ale tak, żeby King Bounty odpalić? Nie wydaje mi się.
His absence has set the realm in motion. Something is coming. Now the burden of the crown falls on to me.
Pograłem w jakieś fajne gry, nie?
Austria was flourishing. But there is unrest.
It used to be beautiful here. My wife and I had a nice life then.
Conspiracy, sabotage, necromancy. They all threaten this land asunder, but we must unite, for distorted terrors are advancing.
Fajne gry.
Rumors tell
King's
of a false prophet, putting our hope in something that does not exist. A seer foretells that our savior is among us. People of Nostria, you laid faith in my father. Do so to me. We must look towards the horizon.
Muszę przełączyć, dobra.
And preserve the light of our land. For Nostria.
Chwila, moment. W końcu gra jakąś pokazali. A nie, będą grać. O nie, jak gradają, no. O Boże. Dalej będą gadać o... Czemu? Państwo tak żyją.
So what is it that makes King's Bounty 2 so special?
The original King's Bounty
Bounty
was the grandfather of games of series like Heroes of Might and Magic. So it created this turn-based gameplay when you have a hex-based battlefield and the troops are moving in turns.
Albo zrobimy tak.
You know, like chess pieces on the board. So I think that's
Tylko pomniejszymy to.
cornerstone of King's Bounty.
Absolutely, and kind of speaking about that, and I know as you mentioned, the first King's Bounties was 1990, and then you had the King's Bounty that you guys created in the 2000s. What technical improvements now that we're in 2021 are you most excited about implementing into the new King's Bounty 2?
Well, I'm a huge
ważne rzeczy są. To nie ma co.
Aspect of the game with tactical battles, and if in the previous games the battlefield was always a flat surface, so now we're bringing the battlefield into 3D. So we will have,
O nie, Hirosy zrobił to 2 lata temu, przeniosło się na 3D. Widzicie jakie fajne 3D? Lubicie 3D? Też mi się tak wydaje.
So moving the battlefield to 3D is a huge step forward. And then the whole role-playing part, the exploration part, we decided to move more towards games like Fable or Mass Effect, kind of epic, big role-playing games, as opposed to have a top-down isometric view of tiny little character on a horse just galloping around the map. So we are moving towards this kind of epic fantasy adventure.
Jak ktoś chce oglądać konferencję, proszę bardzo. Konferencje, lubicie konferencje, nie?
Speaking of the other King's Bounty games, will this King's Bounty 2 follow the other stories of the games, or will it be a standalone title?
Lubicie konferencje, takie fajne, dużo się dzieje, gry pokazują. To kto nie lubi, nie?
And I would say that a previous King's Bounty, it was not like an epic RPG adventure, so the game was more about just battling random monsters on the map and solving some little quests.
To nie lubi.
It's really, a epic adventure. We had spent like dozens of hours solving puzzles, working with different factions, making decisions that change the character and the
Ludzie to oglądają.
So we're really moving much more towards
Bez sensu.
an
Po co
epic
to komu?
RPG. However, this is a very
Pogramy w tryb legend.
where our game King's Bounty is not an action
Skończyłem go
RPG,
usta całkowicie.
game where you have to,
Nie chcę mi się go platynować.
joysticks and battle enemies in the field. It's interesting cross.
Ale jak tak dalej pójdzie, to coś czuję, że splatynujemy, nie?
Strategy title, which I wouldn't. It's not like quote unquote
online?
never done on console, but this is fairly unique combination for the console. And for me, great inspiration was a modern remake of.
Szybkie przetrwanie, pobijamy level.
Huge fan of XCOM that was released
A,
in
może bym
1994,
wyłączył.
1996,
To
and the
pomaga.
modern
Au.
console reinventing of XCOM.
To już wszyscy się poddali, to już się nie da, tego już się nie da lepiej.
That works well on modern platforms, that works well with current
Lubicie gry, nie?
gamers, how the game should look like. So we're trying to enhance it in every possible direction.
Yeah, cool,
Miałem
awesome.
włączyć
Kind of
ten
speaking about the story of King's Bounty 2
mikrofon,
and how
zapomniałem,
it
że jest
differs,
wbity.
it appears to have a darker, more gritty aesthetic compared to its predecessors. What was the design philosophy around that? Why did you decide to go with that instead?
Jest tryb historii, jest tryb przetrwania, czyli fale klasyczne. Nie musimy bronić danych miejscówek. To coś może tam pomóc. A, fajnie tam, gierki, nie? Kogo tam interesują? Jakiś typ tam chyba też sobie gada do telefonu. Każdy ma własną klasę, która robi własne umiejętności. Kurde, zaraz mnie zobaczy. Nie, dobra. Już mnie nie zobaczy. Teraz zobacz. A, dobra, sprzedał mnie. Ale spróbujemy zrobić cios krytyczny na nim. Co on mnie widzi? Nie. Nie widzi mnie. One są, te postacie są o wiele mocniejsze. Jest, możemy pogłaskać psa, nie? Chwila, moment. Jak coś się będzie działo, to krzyczcie. Są bębny, które możemy uderzać, żeby odzyskać zdrowie, ale to wtedy to jest zdrowie dla każdego, więc... Można przeskakiwać z krzaczka na krzaczek. Kto nie lubi przeskakiwania z krzaczka na krzaczek? Widzę, że dobrze nam pójdzie, bo już dwóch sobie poszło stąd w cholerę. Bujać się na linię możemy, a niestety nie w taką stronę, jaką bym chciał. A, skubany. Zdrowie mamy jedno, więc jeżeli go nie uzupełnimy, będzie ciężko. Jak widać, dobrze nam idzie. A, ma jest dwóch na stronie, to już w ogóle. Jest piesa, to już jest w ogóle szał. A, straciliśmy już. Miło z jego strony. No ale panowie sobie tam czekają, nie? Tak sobie... Dobra, nie udało się, niestety. Lubi się konferencje, nie? Dużo się dzieje na nich. Wróciliśmy drugi obszar. Dobrze nam idzie. Ja się sypia strasznie te konferencje, Boże. Kto to programował? Kto to projektował? Ludzie tak żyją. Powinien zabrać mu pieniądze z każdej strony. Brają dystansową, czyli możemy z łuku naparzać. Gdzie idą ludzie? Z której strony? No na te pytania jeszcze ma z kartki, bo są to takie same. O, dlaczego chcieliście z nami, a nie z innymi? Co zdecydowało, że chcecie naszą markę, nie innym? Au, dobra, żartowałem. To był żart. Poszła. Łoń. Niestety, najczęściej te przetrwania są na więcej niż jedną osobę. Znaczy dwie. Dużo tu nie... Dobra, każdy masz tą umiejętność specjalną. A, bo on północy z tych użył, dobra. O, skończył gadać. Już dawno tak złej konferencji nie widziałem. Tak, dobra, tyle ze skrytobójstwa. Panie pies, pomóż. Dobra. Jeden z głowy. O, baba sfrizowała. Au. To gra. Boże święty. Leci gra. Ludzie, gra. Tak można żyć. O, jak grzmotną. Grzmotną konkret. Robimy chociaż gremu. Ile się da. Ale animacje są sztywne. Tak, zmotnął. O, skubany. No, przynajmniej wstajemy, nie? Nie, będziemy się sami orzeźwiać, nie? Musimy orzeźwiać się tak nawzajem. Przynajmniej więcej expa chyba narobię, jak tak będę naparzał się z wieloma osobami. Mamy strzelanko. A znowu się zawiesiło, Boże. Nie pokazuje tego? A dobra, tu jest. Mamy baby. Lubicie baby, nie? Baby. Baby w grach. Ja się przewróciłem. Co się wydarzyło? Co się dzieje? Co za chaos? Boże, je tych ludzi. Dobrze jest. Chaos, ale jest. Dobra, chyba zrezygnowali ze mnie. Tak? A, grzmotną. Wziął i zabił. Mamy ekstraktowanie. Całkiem spoko jest ten X-Ray, ale to taki gimmick kompletny. Nawet nie dostaliśmy nic za to. Chociaż nie, dostaliśmy jakiś sprzęt. Lepszy łuk. Jest. Krótki łuk, tak. Dobra, może wyszukamy teraz kogoś normalnego. Nie będę wychodzić. Bije serduszko. Biega baba. Jest strzał. No dobra, to wygląda w miarę ciekawie. O Jezu, Polacy. Daj mi jeszcze Polacy. A, gadanie z deweloperami, okej, dobra, to nie liczymy tego. No i se gadają dalej, nie? No Jezu, już opuszczają sesję, no dajcie pograć. Jaka dupa. O Boże, dobra, ale dupa, dobra, zrąbałem. Nie mam strzał? Do widzenia. Z panem nie rozmawiałem. Mamy to oszczęstwo, no Jesus Christ. Keb dog? To brzmi zabawnie. Niby kebab, ale hot dog. Dobra. Teraz powinniśmy bronić te wszystkie punkty. To jest typowa fala z Gearsów, nie? Ale z twistem Ghosta. No przynajmniej można sobie tak latać dookoła. Te wszystkie podświetlone to będą momenty, na które będą atakować punkty. I jeżeli obronimy wszystkie, no to dostajemy więcej bonusów, strojów oraz gearów. Ale typowy parkour. Parkour to może dużo O, zniknął. Idą.
real world.
空から死の雨が降り注ぐ
Jeszcze katar miał takie też w ogóle. Alergię. Polecam każdemu.
That's a very real world topic for me. Like in our world, a lot of bad things come out of fear. And this
Wampajska rzecz.
gives birth to some unreasonably dark actions, which lead to more bad things and more fear and more bad things. And
Nie, ta konferencja to jakaś żenada. To w ogóle nie powinno istnieć. Kto wpadł na ten pomysł, że to w ogóle miałoby jakiś sens?
knowledge against ignorance.
So apart from kind of staying within sci-fi, obviously that kind of opening up the possibility that this can actually happen, sci-fi what is, is there any other important reason to
Yes, there is a reason to keep realism, but I think the better word is to make it believable. So like if you go for absolute realism, you're kind of limited on
Nah,
what you can tell, the story you can tell. It kind of is like there is a fiction element to this sci-fi, but you want to make it believable. And the reason why this is important is because I would like to paint this wide. I would like it if people
Kurde, ten katar.
what if this really happened? What would I do if I were suddenly stranded somewhere on this strange, far away from home world?
Nie, przez to, że jest można być partnerem Kochmydli, nie? I to już w ogóle ciężko byłoby. To jest teraz moment, w którym ciężko można być partnerem Kochmydli, bo to nawet ciężko byłoby emocje z tego wywołać jakiekolwiek. Nie dziwo to, że on nawet się stwierdził, że nie, że fuck it, że idzie do domu. Są lepsze sposoby na zrobienie tego. Cześć, zostało nas dwóch tylko. Nie, trzech. Atakują to, nie?
Kate is awesome. We love her. So Kate is a very strong and very capable, but also very caring person. So she's
Nie, to bez sensu. Nie, że że alergia mnie atakuje mocno, to jeszcze ten stream jest tak beznadziejny. Co oni robią? Panowie tak żyją?
She does end up in a situation where like she needs to, fight for her life. So
Z głowy.
kind of like
To
really
już
interesting to us.
czysto.
Because the fact that she's not a trained combatant doesn't mean she's not capable. So she has like a strong will, a sharp mind, and she's very brave and tough. But, like she's under tremendous stress in our game, and we want to show how vulnerable she is, how scared she is.
Spadamy stąd, bo to fajnie, bez sensu, to jest kompletnie strata mojego i waszego czasu, także do widzenia w lepszych czasach. Bye bye.